Hey everybody, good morning. I just wanted to do a little update on the Rikon aftermarket top filter for single stage. I think it's a 1.5 horse through 2 horse. They have a shop Fox, there's Harbor Freight, there's all kinds of, I think they're all made in the same factory. Anyway, I was having trouble with this thing popping off again. The bag was popping off, and then this was lifting off. And so the only fix that I could really think of in the beginning was this band clamp, because it was better than the metal one that was provided. But it was still popping off. Once this filter would get clogged up, the pressure would build up, and it would not throw the whole thing off, but it would make it cattywampus so that stuff would get out. And you know, if you're sitting there in a 2-hour, 3-hour sanding session on the sanders, and you look up and you see the giant cloud, you know, your shop is filling, you have to stop. You see your shop is filling with a giant cloud of dust. So the only real solution that I came up with is I installed a series of sheet metal screws. I think you can see one in there, and went all the way around about every 6 inches. And it was puckering the rubber a little bit, so I put the band clamp back on there and then turned it back on, and it just seems like the filter is working a lot better. I think I was getting some air leakage. So that is that's the first thing. You have to make that it's a general size, so depending on what size around the body of this thing is, you have to come up with a way to get that seal. I don't think my seal was good enough in the beginning, and you can see I modified the bottom bag. I've got rubber, I taped it on there, and then I've got rubber and another band clamp. I guess you could use a ratchet strap as well. But after thinking about it, I was like, well, geez. So if I've made this to where the top can't pop off when the pressure gets bad, what am I gonna do? Well, I thought about a relief valve, and the thoughts just kept getting more complicated and more complicated. So I talked to a friend of mine, and he suggested this. Basically, I cut like a 1.25 inch, like a 1-inch hole in the top of this. Here we go. So here's what we got. And I think this is gonna work. Like I said, the only thing I can think of is this getting clogged up with sawdust, but I think it'll be easily blown out, or it can be taken apart. But let's see if I can get, what I'm gonna do is just gently blow some compressed air in there. Okay, so even if it's just moving a little bit like that, that means I've got some sort of static pressure in there. So hopefully that pressure in there will be enough to move that needle. And all I need is a little movement, and that'll tell me that I'm getting clogged up. And there's the corresponding thing here. With stainless, you will need to drill some pilot holes. Thanks, Milwaukee, my mandrel broke and made me scar up my thing. But the cool thing about this concept, though, is that fits down in there like that. If I need to add something, if I want to put the pop-off valve here, all I have to do is fabricate it right there, rather than trying to get this stuff in from the inside. So anyway, now when I turn this on, I'm getting no reading with the filter relatively clean. And all of the videos that I saw, everybody discouraged using the paddle on the inside because their reasoning is that it wears out the paper filter. These are not washable filters, and all you have are these paddles in there, which are going to wear out the inside, and basically your filtration will get larger and larger, and then it won't work very well. So basically they want you to just pat this thing very gently and then take air, either a small blower or compressed air back about this far, and just blow it out and let it drop into the bag. I think there would be less problem if the chips were bigger, like table saw, planer, jointer, and whatnot. But with these sanders going, all of my dust is super fine, about like that, what you see. And so I get clogged up really fast. So when I turn this on and the filter's clean, I'm really not getting a reading at all. Actually, I'm getting no movement on this thing. But my theory is at this point, and we'll come back and see in a short, as this filter gets packed and caked, it's going to become more of a closed system, and I probably will get a reading on my gauge. So we'll see. This is a work in progress, but I figured this is way better than trying to make a pop-off valve, and it can be made, but we'll see. We're just kind of experimenting, so wish us luck. Talk to you. See you in the next bit.